All right, and welcome. This short video would be an example of a flipped lesson. Imagine you sat in class today, and at the end of class, Mr. Layton said, go home tonight, check Skyward, and you'll see a link for tonight's homework, which is to watch this short flipped lesson. The example we'll use would be a flipped lesson on the Great Roman Empire. So you would go home and you would sit down on your device of any sort, maybe a desktop computer, a tablet, a laptop, a cell phone, a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One, a PlayStation 3, anything that connects to the internet, and you would go to the link provided to you on Skyward to watch this short video. Now, in this short video, you're going to learn 5 different things about the Roman Empire. And the next day you come to class, we're going to do activities involving those 5 interesting things you learned about the Roman Empire. So, for example, we're going to talk about gladiators, and here tell you a little bit about who the gladiators were and what they did. You can see the picture over there on the right. It's from a movie called Gladiator. And gladiators, as it's described over here on our left, most were slaves, but not all, and they were people who went and they fought in front of crowds as a form of entertainment. Well, as you read this, I may have assigned a couple of questions along with the video. You need to do the questions at home so when you come into class, you've already got this information and you're ready to dive headfirst into our activity for the day. So as you're sitting at home, you would take notes. You would answer a few questions that go along with the video. And then when you came into class the next day, we'd be prepared to discuss some of these topics. We would spend the next day doing some activities, some individually, some with groups, talking about the Romans and maybe an afternoon at the Colosseum. What would it have been like? Would you have seen animals engaged in these battles with these gladiators? And we would have talked about these 2 groups that used animals in battle. What was it like for them? We'd have activities to help you have a better understanding. But instead of listening to it in class for 40 minutes or 30 minutes, just from me, you'd get that content information here as your homework, which gives us more time to apply learning about the Romans and the Colosseum in class. So as you were going along, you would learn many interesting facts. In addition to men, women also fought as gladiators. A lot of people don't know that, so that'd be an interesting fact to add, and it's going to add to the activity we have the next day in class. What I expect of you is to watch these short videos. They're going to be 5 minutes or less. Write down questions you have. Bring those questions to class the next day. That's going to make great discussion for all of us so we can all learn together. And we're going to do a lot of activities. We'll be integrating other classes, your language arts class, your science class, mathematics. Here's a great example: 80,000 spectators at the Coliseum. This is where the gladiators fought. Neyland Stadium, home of the University of Tennessee Volunteers, 106,000 spectators. We can talk about the dimensions of the Coliseum. There are different websites and apps that we can use to take virtual tours of these places. But that requires you, the student, taking on the task of preloading the information at home so we have more time in class to work on the application. Here's another example. We're going to talk about these ancient civilizations and their technology. We'll be able to compare and discuss how the Romans built things. I mean, if you think about it, this is a group of people who existed, 2,000 years ago. They were building structures like the Colosseum. This article here, or this little fact that you would take note of or possibly answer a question about, is about how the Romans created their own form of concrete. And some have argued that it may be as good, if not even better, than today's concrete. We'd be able to talk about that. How did they build these structures? We'd have more time in class to apply and look at that. and maybe even possibly build our own coliseum here in the classroom. But again, that relies on you as the student taking the time at home to do your homework, which is to watch this short video. Okay, now that would be an example of a flipped lesson. It's just a little over 5 minutes in length. It would be posted onto Skyward, so you could go access it through Skyward and watch. If you didn't have ability to watch it at home, you'd have an opportunity to watch it here in the classroom, and then be able to get involved into the activity with your group, or if it's an individual activity. I want you to take on this task as the student to be able to go home and watch these short videos so you can constantly have the information. You can watch it at your pace. You can rewind it if you want to hear something again. You can take down the information in notes at your pace. And if there's an activity that I assign on Skyward with the video, you bring it the next day to class with you, because it's going to be an important part to all the activities and application we do in the classroom. So it's called flipping the classroom, or in this case, we're flipped the lesson. The homework is what used to be the lecture part. Your parents can tell you about that. And the application part is going to take place more often in the classroom. Parents, this is also great for you because you get to learn alongside with your child. And if you have questions, you can bring those in with your child, and we'll discuss those as a class, and we'll try to find the correct answers all together.